What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to react to James Franco explaining his sexual addiction. Okay, so guys, it's very important to watch the video with the lens of trying to understand instead of like judging or thinking all kinds of stuff. So I'll try my very best to translate what was going on in his mind, okay, to have a better understanding why people go through, let's say, some sort of addiction, any addiction you can think of, okay? So before I get started, I would like to send a big shout out to all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate the feedback, and I also appreciate you guys enjoying the videos and giving the videos a thumbs up, because you know YouTube is an algorithmic system. So if the video is not being liked, you know, it's not going to push the video to the masses. So if you enjoy the channel, if you want the channel to grow, please give the videos a thumbs up. Okay, guys? So let's jump into it.
When I was a teenager, I was addicted to alcohol and got in a lot of trouble, and got sober when I was 17. And then 3 years after that, I was on a television show, and that felt great. And it was like this new thing and a new source of, you know, to fill me up. Like when I was young, it was like I was just shy. I just didn't know how to get along in the world. I didn't know how to talk to people, and alcohol was like the best solution for that.
So most likely he did not have some sort of identity. He didn't have a good picture of himself, about himself, let's say, because okay, you could see that, okay, he's a tall guy, he's not bad looking or something. Being shy, like, what do you mean being shy? He shouldn't be shy. He should be socializing. He should be good at socializing with others. He shouldn't have a problem getting women, is what most people would think, right? But it's not the case. The thing you have to understand, when we look in the mirror, right, we create an image of ourselves. And most of the time, the image is not real because it's nothing but perception. So when you look in the mirror, the image you create of yourself, it's not reality. Right now, the way you view me is not the way I view myself. I probably have a completely different picture of myself. You probably think, okay, this guy not bad looking, but to me, I'm like, yo, I don't even look good. Like, I look bad. I'm scared. I don't want to talk to people. I'm afraid of women and stuff like that. All kinds of different thoughts can be popping up in my head, which creates some sort of anxiety. So the fact that the inner dialogue, the conversation we have with ourselves, is what creates that perception or the way we view ourselves. So most likely the way he perceived himself was super negative. So he was in his head criticizing himself, which automatically generates self-isolation.
The problem is, for me, you know, normally you have a window. It's like, it's fun, they say, and then fun with problems, and then just problems. Like, my window from fun to just problems was so short. And I was a ward of the court and all this stuff. But once I couldn't use alcohol to sort of fill that hole, it was like, oh, success, attention, this is great. And so in a weird way, I got addicted to validation, I guess, or success, or whatever that is. And then there was another thing that happened where, along the road, you know, of trying to get success and, you know, climb the top of that mountain, attention from women, success with women, also became a huge source of validation for me. The problem with that is, like, I'm sure you can guess, like any sort of drug or anything, like, there's never enough. You know, it's sort of always I talk about like this if-then sort of scenario where I thought, if I get this, then I'll be happy. And then I got there, and then it was like, well, okay, well, if I get that, then I'll be happy. And it was never ending. And it's also sadly the same thing with people, you know. It's, oh, if I'm with that, like, this is all subconscious, but like, if I'm with that person, I'll be happy. And then it's not enough.
Key point, he was stressed the hell out. He wasn't getting attention. He wasn't getting enough, like, let's say, females. He didn't have access. He didn't have opportunities. He was scared. He couldn't approach. He was not confident. So now he stumbled upon fame. Like, you know, he's a big actor, money, power, fame. So now females, they were throwing themselves on him. So it was completely different for him. It was like, whoa, wow, now I have access. Now I have power. It was like a kid in the candy store. You see what I'm saying? So he couldn't control his limbic structure. Remember, guys, our sexual instinct control who we are. Our hunger instinct control who we are, control our behavior. It's the reason if we don't have self-control, if we don't understand ourselves, the limbic structure will dominate our behavior. So it's exactly what happened to him. So now, let's say in his childhood, he was stressed the hell out. His stress level very, very high. So when we stress out, what do we look for? We look for pleasure. And it's the reason he was drinking a lot of alcohol. It's to escape. It's to escape the pain. But now he managed to, let's say, sober up. He stopped drinking alcohol or something like that. But he had access to females. It was something new to him. It was something fresh, a brand new excitement. So do you understand what I'm saying? So having access to women, things he couldn't have before, things he used to dream of, but he couldn't because he was shy, he was scared, he was not confident. Now he was able to have them without a problem. He didn't even have to approach, nothing like that. It hit the reward system. It's no different from, like, let's say someone taking any type of stimulant, any type of drugs, or no different from drinking alcohol.
I'm just trying to fill that hole, and it never gets filled. So at around the same time I hit the wall with work, my sister-in-law, Iris Torres, given me a book on sex and love addiction. And I'd been in recovery for a long time, right? But I got sober really young. So, like, I could identify with a lot in the alcohol literature, but, like, when I read this book, it was like, it hit me like a bullet, and it was like, oh my God, that's me. And up until that point, like, as crazy as it is, like, I had inklings like, okay, maybe this is an issue. My parents had stayed married their whole lives, so, like, I respected marriage, and, like, there had been a part of me, even all through it, even at my craziest, where it was like, well, I want to get married. I want to be in a serious relationship. I didn't know how. And after reading that book, it was like, oh, this is an issue that I'm not going to solve on my own. It's such a powerful drug. And I got hooked on it for 20 more years. And the insidious part of that is that I stayed sober from alcohol all that time. So, and I went to meetings, all that time. I even tried to, sponsor other people. And so in my head, it was like, oh, I'm sober. I'm living a spiritual life. Where on the side, I'm acting out now in all these other ways, and I couldn't see it. And even my sponsor was like, who's happily married, he was like, look, whatever happens, but, because I had girlfriends. I could never be faithful to anybody. So I cheated on everyone before Isabel. And he's like, look, the cheating is dishonest. I don't think that's good for your sobriety. But if you're not dating someone and you want to go and hook up, like, whatever happens between two consenting adults is fine. Like, that's what he said. The problem was I took that and I ran with it and used it as an excuse to, just hook up all over the place. And it was like, well, we're being honest here, right? And like you said, like, completely blind to power dynamics or anything like that, but also completely blind to people's feelings. I didn't want to hurt people. And in fact, I wasn't, like, really a one-night stand guy. Like, people that I, got together with or dated, like, I'd see them for a long time, years. It's just that I couldn't be present for any of them. And the behavior spun out to a point where it was like I was hurting everybody.
the limbic system and consciousness battling each other, because it's the reason people are stressed out. They behave in a certain way and they don't understand why they behave in the way they do, which push them towards a stressful mentality where like, yo, I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. Why am I behaving the way I do? It's not the way I want to behave. I want to have control over myself, but I can't. It's difficult because I feel like something is controlling me. And it's the reason he was confused. He was like, damn, I don't want to sleep around. I want to get married. I want to have a proper relationship. But the limbic system did not care about that because it was something very new. And remember, he was jumping into relationship, in which he mentioned that he had like long-term relationships. But the only problem, he was cheating on them. Why? Because the fact that he had access to so many different females, he couldn't control his emotion. Remember what I said about relationship. Once you go in a relationship, you'll have the excitement. You'll talk about all kinds of lovey stuff, all kinds of futuristic hope type of thing. Like, oh my God, like we're going to be together forever type of vibe. It's only in the beginning because it's emotion. It's the limbic system making you feel like, okay, you know what? This good feeling going to last forever, but it's never the case. It's a fleeting emotion. It will go down eventually. And every time, let's say the feelings start dropping down, his only way to get it back up is to go find somebody else to cheat. Remember, he was in a fast life. He's an actor, so which means he was being stimulated everywhere. Different females probably trying to touch him, trying to talk to him, asking him. You get the point. So it was a difficult situation for him because a part of him didn't want to do it, and a part of him just pushing it. Man, it's a stressful situation not having control over your limbic system, because it's a system that will take you all over the place. It's the reason when you think about it also, people, they can't stop eating. People become obese. Think about it for a second. You want to be healthy. You want to eat healthy. And you want to, to have a great shape, great body and everything. But there's something inside of you pushing you towards food to the point you can't stop yourself from eating too much. Think about it for a second. It's the same way. So my point is, it's the power of the limbic system, hunger instinct and sexual instinct. So now for him, I don't want to go all over the place. Key point. Okay. So he was saying that, he was never satisfied. Every time he reached the point where, okay, probably I love this woman, I want to be with that woman, boom, the fleeting emotion start kicking in, like where you start experiencing like, okay, I'm not happy in a relationship. I need to go find somebody else to sleep with. It's what cheating is all about, You reach the point where the boredom kicks in, and after that, you're being stimulated left and right, and to pacify the system is to give it what it wants without self-control, of course. So now, only because he didn't have a proper understanding of himself. Think about how many people, they do not have proper understanding of themselves. Some people, they think, okay, you know what? I'm just one. Every decision that I make, even when I make a mistake, why did I make that mistake? Oh, shoots, it's me. But not understanding there's a different system. The shadow side, the subconscious, controlling every single decision. It's extremely powerful. Extremely, extremely powerful, man. And people do not understand that. We only have a little bit of access just to make basic decision. And once let's say the emotion very high or the instinct kicked in, either the hunger instinct or the sexual instinct, man, the limbic system gonna hijack that little bit of access that you have to make decision, override it, dominate it to make its own decision. And it's what most people do not understand. So it's what he was battling, is what he was confusing about, because in his early age, again, remember guys, his early age, he did not have access. He wasn't exploring. He did not have access to many women. He couldn't talk to women. He was very shy. And which means, his sexual instinct, his urge was very, very strong. But the fact that he was scared, he couldn't go and talk, anxiety, of course. But the minute he got a little bit of power, fame, and they start validating him, identity also, don't forget that point, like where he didn't have a good picture of himself, like the way he view himself. But people were validating him now, telling him like probably, oh, you so handsome, or people, they say words, right? So in his head, he probably like, whoa, I look good. It's a very good feeling to get it for the first time and to actually believe it or something like, whoa, people gravitating towards me. Wow. So he was hurting a lot of people, as he mentioned. Hurting a lot of people, people, they always have hope. Let's say he was sweet talking them, telling them he's going to be with them. And they believed it, of course. Even if he didn't say that. With women, once you sleep with a woman and she feels good and she become attached and stuff, she's going to start having some sort of hope. And the minute you cheat on that woman, or you leave that woman, or you move on, or you didn't give her a relationship or whatnot, she's going to be hurt and crying will happen a lot. And that will register in the mind. And it's something that he didn't want to do. Consciousness didn't want to do. But the limbic system does not care about that. You see? Because it's designed to do specific function. Food, sex, that's it. You see? So now, you can tell in the interview, he was still a little bit confused about himself, although he's probably getting help from like a therapist or something. The only thing they're going to do with him is to get him to understand himself a little bit, or practice some sort of self-control or emotional control, or understand what's triggering the emotion. Because once you understand, not that the urge not going to kick in, it will kick in. You see? But you can repattern the way you view it to change the behavior. You see what I'm saying? But again, when I talk about relationship is the most difficult thing ever. The further you go down that relationship, more time, more years, the harder it's going to be, because the emotion, all the excitement, just gonna fade away. And remember the keywords. He said every time that, I know I'm going all over the place, but I'm just trying to hit key points for you guys to understand. But he was saying that he was never satisfied. So every time he hit like the dosage, let's use drugs for instance, he would need a higher dosage. He would need to do more and more and more. It's what motivate us, is the reward system. It's what's pushing us to compete, to go get more and more. It's the reason we never satisfy, guys. It's the reward system. It's the dopamine system. Once you trigger that system towards something and it feels like it's positive, once it's in your bloodstream, that's it. You're going to keep going towards that thing. You're going to want more and more and more until it destroys you. It's the reason drugs, cocaine, alcohol destroy people's lives, because they can't stop. It's difficult for them to stop because the limbic system or the reward system going to want more and more and more. So do you understand how powerful sex actually is? Do you understand why people decide, or do you understand when people decide to go and get married and stuff, or to have a long-term relationship, it becomes more difficult. They start fighting. They don't understand each other. They start not liking each other anymore. The feeling fade away. They feel empty. It's because they need that dosage of dopamine. You understand? So, guys, what do we do here? We learn, we push, and we grow to become the best version of ourselves. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button for more great content. If you have anything to say, let it out in the comment section. See you next time. Ciao.